morning! Okay, we're heading into the holiday season now that Halloween is over. We're getting into Thanksgiving and Christmas, which means winter. The weather's getting colder, so what's better than some soup? And today I'm going to show you how to turn this butternut squash into some yummy holiday season soup. I want to start out the video by just giving a little bit of information on the butternut squash. So the butternut squash is a really easy and simple squash to plant in your garden. They do take up quite a bit of room because branches can go up to 15 feet long, so you need quite a bit of space. But one vine can produce 10 to 20 squashes. So these are winter squashes as opposed to most other squashes, which are summer squashes. You want to plant these when your soil is around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit and when you know it's not going to freeze again. So that's the ideal time to plant these. The butternut squash itself has many nutritional values. It's high in potassium, and it is a great substitute for pumpkin. So you can use this in your pumpkin pies, you can use it as a pasta dish substitute, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some soup. Okay, now we're going to be cutting the squash. So what you want to do is you want to take the little stem off the top, and then you're going to score the squash vertically, cutting it in half. So you want to make sure you kind of score the squash before cutting it all the way through, because it is really hard to cut all the way through the squash because it's so thick. But once you score all the way around, or at least halfway, you should be able to cut right through. Now that we have our two halves, I just lined a baking sheet with foil. Go ahead and drizzle some olive oil over the squash, and then you're going to use your hands just to rub that in. It's really important to get it all over the squash so it bakes evenly in the oven. Then I'm just taking some salt and I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that all over the squash. Then you're going to put your squash in the oven at 400 for 55 minutes. Once that 55 minutes is up, you're going to take your baked squash out of the oven. Make sure not to burn yourself, and then you're going to go ahead and get your pot ready. Okay, into the pot you're going to put your olive oil as well as your garlic, and you're just going to move your garlic around in the pot for a little while to express it. And once you can smell the garlic in the steam, you're going to go ahead and add in your spices. After you've added in your spices, you're going to add your chicken broth. Give that a stir, and then after adding your chicken broth in, you're going to add in your milk. I'm using coconut milk in this recipe because dairy does not agree with me for a long period of time. So since I'm making a lot of soup for myself, I decided to use coconut milk. You can use any kind of milk, so feel free to use whole milk. As you can see, I was originally using a spoon to get most of the squash out, and then I used my hands to really make sure I got all of that butternut squash away from that outer rind. has simmered with the squash for a while, you are going to put it all in a blender. So go ahead and dump it into your blender or your food processor, anything that's gonna blend it and make it really nice and creamy and smooth. And so you're just gonna blend it until smooth. Only takes a few minutes. Then you should get some beautiful creamy soup like this. I put a dollop of yogurt and sprinkled some nutmeg on top just to make it a little bit more creamy. Let's give it a taste. Give it a nice stir. You can't tell me that doesn't look so good. All right, here we go. It's just what you need for a cold weather day.